The Joe Rogan Experience.
A lot of our food comes from California.
Yeah.
The farmland between here and San Francisco is crazy, Republican.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
you go up there, you see these, anti-abortion billboards and pro-Trump billboards, and oh my goodness, it's
Growing
like
our
a
food.
different world. It's so crazy because it's the world of the people who have to work from fucking dawn till like 7 p.m. and then they crash and they go back to the farm again. They're always
Yeah.
trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. When it comes to like farmers, there's one thing you get a lot of. You get a lot of religion, and it's not a value judgment. It's just, but you get a lot of religion and you get a lot of Republicans. You get a lot of that. It's not that common that you get
Liberal farmers.
that are liberal. I mean, there are a few. There's certainly some organic farmers that are like real progressive liberal people. They understand the importance of growing your own food.
Yes.
But like mass farmers, like when farmers are growing corn to feed cows, like
Right.
that, those kind of farmers, which
Yes.
is nothing wrong with that. They need them. Those fuckers are, a lot of those people are Republican. And you got to wonder, like maybe it's just like the party of the people that really bust their ass. And they want
interesting.
that. They want that hard-working farmer ethic is like there's no room for bullshit in that life. If you got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and feed the chickens, milk the cows, and then
Right.
do shit all day long, and you're barely paying your bills, you don't want to hear any
Anything.
bullshit. You don't want to
That's
hear
the
any
point.
bullshit. And so I think a lot of them are Republicans because Republican stands for like this no bullshit perspective on life, that they think the Democrats want to hand out their money and take too much of the taxes, but it's because of their reality. It's because of the reality of this particularly grueling occupation these people have taken on. It's almost like a mistake of perspective. They don't have an opportunity to see things openly, like see the whole world and see where their position is. Like they have a uniquely difficult position. They might think the whole world is like that. But it's not necessarily. Like you just chose something that's a preposterous endeavor. I mean that in an admirable way. I'm like admiring farmers' work ethic.
Yeah.
If you took a regular person, just you or me, who's never worked like that ever, and say, "Hey, Owen, you and Joe are gonna get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You're gonna feed the chickens and milk the cows and gather up the eggs.
Shit.
And you're gonna work all fucking day, man, and you're barely gonna make any money. And you're gonna have crazy loans, and you're gonna need to be subsidized.
Subsidized.
You're gonna need to be subsidized by the goddamn government.
Sign me up. No.
Oh man,
no.
so much depression and suicide, and when their farms collapse, man, it's fucking devastating. And there's some people who could do it too. There's some people who
Right.
do it and they become very successful, and there's some people who do it and love it and swear by it. I mean, there's a whole spectrum, but that has got to test you. And if you think about how crazy that is, that's not more lucrative. Like, what is more valuable to us than our food? It's nothing.
And why do we treat them that way? Exactly.
Well, it's like, what else is more valuable? Our teachers. Why
And
do we treat them
that way? It's
you think
consistent.
about people who get paid
Yes.
so little who are so valuable.
Yes.
What a fucked up society.
It's backwards, man.
What is more valuable? There's number one is stay alive.
Yes.
That's number one. How do you
Yeah.
do that? You need food.
Food.
Okay. The people who make food.
Yeah.
We should take so
They
good
should
care of
be
them.
the 1%. They should
They should be like priests.
Yes, they should be taken
the
care
givers
of.
of fruit. They
Yeah.
literally bring you fruit, and you give them paper, and you
Yeah.
get their fruit, and it sustains you.
But they're struggling.
And then number two is teachers.
Yeah, because once you're here, you got to learn something.
What do we do with our teachers? We take them, we pay them dog shit, we
Yeah.
stick them in front of 50 kids barely paying attention, and you just
luck.
hope to make an impact on. Like, I'm sure you have a few teachers like that said a thing
Yeah.
at one point in time, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like, there's
man.
teachers that do make a difference.
Yeah, Mr. Friedenberg, you'll never be able to draw a woman until you've had a woman. I remember he said that in the house. I was like,
shit.
oh, I got to get me a woman.
Oh shit, that's a Bill Withers line.
Isn't that fly?
That sounds like a song.
Yeah, Mr. Friedenberg.
God damn.
Yeah.
I had one guy who was a Vietnam vet, who was a heavy guy. He was heavy, and he was in middle school when I was in the Mary Curley Middle School in Jamaica Plains, which is at the time it was a real sketchy neighborhood outside of Boston, not a suburb of Boston, but inner city. We moved there from Florida, and that was the only place we could afford when I was a kid. And this was like 17-year-old kids in my 7th grade class. I mean, it was so ridiculous. I'm not exaggerating, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it was maybe 8th grade. I forget, but there was this one teacher anyway, and he was a science teacher, and he would grow his own radishes. And he kept saying, like, all I need is radishes and salt, and that's my lunch. And I grew my lunch. And I'm thinking, like, wow, this guy's out there growing his lunch, even out here in the city. But this is the big thing he said to me. He goes, you ever want to hurt your head? He goes, just go outside and look up at space and realize how big it is. Try to imagine something that has no end. If you really want to hurt your brain, just try to imagine that space has no end. That fucked me up, dude. I was like 13.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, he's right. What? There's no end. And I swear to God, that became a big part of the shift in how I started viewing the world.